Welcome back to another Album Book Club EP review. This week we are checking out Self-Defeater by Post Profit. This was suggested to us by Max of Harmless Habit. You guys ready to get into it?
Let's do it.
First track. This shit would have killed it. Hot Topic in 07. Alright. That was track 1, Karmakaze. What do you guys think?
I'm digging it so far. I feel like at points it kind of dips into what's that genre, genty, right? That has that kind of sound, or at least from the bands that I've heard that. And there's a punchiness to the drums, solid, clean vocals. You know, could maybe gone a little harder in the like screams and growls and that kind of thing, but I'm digging it.
I think the only problems that I had with the vocals is they became way clearer in like the last 30 seconds than they were the rest of the song. I don't think I have a preference on which one I wanted. I think just pick one. But I think I'm going to give that like a 7.5.
Yeah. I'll also give it a 7.5. Dave, what you got?
Yeah, I'll be the nice guy too. I'll give it an 8.
I think my biggest gripe with this was just how clean the guitars could have been. Just is disappointing because this is 2023, so there are plenty of just gates and things like that. And I know, obviously, or ironically enough, after complaining in the last video we shot about how clean it was, I think this could use just a hair in the cleaning, but it is very hard to do that with how low the guitars are, and they're just going crazy. They sound so good. I just wish there was a tiny bit more clarity there.
I don't know. I think I liked how kind of disgusting they were.
I think versus the clean vocals, one of them either you needed a little dirtier a vocal or a little cleaner a guitar. Now, when he started screaming, perfect. Or when it did that like pseudo black metal vocal area, it was great there. But
I don't know if I can describe it on the same technical level as you guys. And I think it was closer towards the end point. I felt like there's some interesting stuff they're really putting in towards the back of the mix. Like almost sounded like they were. I was almost wondering if it was a sample or something that they had been doing some like distortion with, or some interesting things like that. So I thought that was a neat touch there. They kind of sprinkled in.
All right, you guys ready to move on to the next track?
Yeah.
Next track.
Next track.
Did this song get way quieter?
It feels
I've had
like
to turn up twice.
All right, that was track 2, Self-Defeater. How do we feel?
Yeah, still feeling it for sure. I like the ratio of clean vocals to the harder stuff. I really dug the chorus, and I like when a song has a soaring quality, and I feel like his vocals there had that kind of quality I like, so that was pretty cool. Man, those breakdowns.
Yeah, you said it best. There is a really good balance between the clean and the heavier vocals, but I think going against everything I've ever said on this show, I wish the heavier stuff had more time.
Yeah.
I think it fits the track itself better than the clean vocals do, even though I love the clean vocal parts, but
Yeah, I genuinely wish there was more heavy. I think the harmonies were beautiful. I think that the playing was just great. It probably just needs an extra like minute and a half so we can just get a big chunky like mosh section of the song. And I think it's just great. Give it like a 7.75.
I'll give it an 8.
I'll go 8.5.
Go on to track 3. Next track. Alrighty, that was track 3, Cancer Culture. What do you guys think?
Man, I think for me, this album just keeps getting better. Variety, like that is the thing that really popped in mind with this track. Like I feel like, unless I'm forgetting stuff, I feel like there's the best variety in vocals so far and what he did there. And it kind of feels like almost like a sister song to the last one, or more of a yin yang one. Whereas it feels like you guys were looking for more hard stuff, and I was thinking, wish granted. You know, I like them coming out at the gate with it, and kind of hitting the peak with that more pretty chorusy, clean vocal part. You know, and yeah, I really dig this track, and I might actually go ahead and put this on my like list for Spotify. I'm going to give this a 9.
I think I'm going to stick with an 8. Like we said at the very beginning, it kind of instantly did exactly what we said we wanted from the track before. Just heavier, but then still brought in the clean vocals. I said it during the listen, but it sounds like a heavier and dirtier sound of the band Unpeople, which has been one of my song of the days.
Yeah, it did exactly what I asked for. I'll give it like an 8.5. It's got that hard-hitting heavy. It's got the nice, clean vocals. It flows very well. It sounds real good. Frankly, like I think that almost all these tracks could just use more time on them. I think they're very good and could use either like a more breakdown section or another chorus somewhere. They're very kind of contained, and especially seeing that's like 6 tracks, 19 minutes for an EP. That's about 11 minutes shorter than I was expecting. So, I'm ready to move on to the next track. All right, that was track 4, Drug Emporium. What do we think?
Did enjoy it still, but a lot of the lyrics prior were either interesting enough or not distracting. I want to say even in the one I really liked was Cancel Culture. That the Getting Ready to Break Your Heart line was like, that sounds decently cool without trying to be too cool, Whereas I kind of found the lyrics in this one almost distracting. I don't know, maybe it felt almost too down to earth, and for me, I don't know if that quite fits a band like this, or at least not what I'm looking for in one. So I kind of found myself more distracted by that during a lot of the song, whereas the real winner for me was the drums. I don't know why, the drums were just really kicking in that. Yeah, so a lot of the qualities that were good before, clean vocals and all of that, still were, but it just didn't click as well for me. So I want to give it a 7.4.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 7.5. I don't do all the Steven numbers. But, yeah, no, I fully agree. I think this one was a little too melodic for the style this band has shown us so far. Still good, but fits a little less than that. We were kind of complaining about it on track 2, and this one was fully into that. I think if they had focused on, like, the last 10 seconds were my favorite part of the song. If they had done not that the whole time, but stuck in that style, I think I would have liked this one a lot more.
As far as a certified Hot Topic banger, this is it. It goes hard, but just in its relation to the rest of the album, yeah, it's like a 7. It's by far the most away from like everything that's been real fun, real clear, real good, except for the last few seconds. But like I've been saying with every other song, tack on another minute of that, and it's probably fine.
So they got 6 songs, 19 minutes. They have the time.
They've got plenty. They had plenty. This band doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Very tragic, actually. All right, ready for the next track? All right, that was track 5, Too Toxic. What do you guys think?
Still digging it. But that on to a point you guys have really been emphasizing is just needs more. Like, that is exactly how I feel about that track. Like, the clean vocals and the chorus, I especially like it when he hits a certain higher range. I don't know if it's quite a full falsetto or whatever, but, he'll kind of hit that range, and I do find that very pleasing. And so I dug all of that, and I was kind of waiting for it to kind of really break down. And when it finally did get there, I liked how they just kept the rougher vocals just going constant, and kind of hint the hardest they've gotten with that. and then it just kind of it's done. I'm like, oh, I feel like this really could have been tacked on to stretch that part out, you know.
I think they would have needed to integrate the heavier breakdowns and the screaming vocals earlier, and then probably kept it going for a little bit. It does seem like it's a little tacked on at the end, but I think the better way to do this song would have been not have it at all, and then we would have just complained that this song doesn't super fit on this EP.
Yeah, it's a real good track. Outside of that screaming, I think the screaming is just kind of a tack on thing. We do numbers?
We didn't, but I'm gonna give it a 7.25. I occasionally do the Steven numbers.
I still like the clean stuff enough. I'll give it an 8.
Yeah, I think in relation to this EP, it's like a 7, and as far as the song goes, I think it's an 8. I think it's very enjoyable. It's very good. This will be put in my main playlist. As I was saying during the listening, it's kind of like 3 Days Grace-esque for most of it, and then even when it isn't, it's like Finger 11 or Papa Roach style if you want to go like that. Last track. That was track 6, Keep Your Excuses. What do you think?
I'm glad they had the music itself be a little harder wrapped around the clean vocals. I feel like the last track probably would have benefited more from something like that. They went really light on the screams, I think. But like the music itself was harder overall. And I think it was especially towards the end, there was a fullness to the sound that I feel like was missing in parts of the album, especially the last track. I'm going to give it an 8.2.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with 8.5, or I guess go up to an 8.5. I think this does, so the first song was, either the first and the third were the heaviest. This one, I think, commits fully to the less heavy sound that the band is going for, because the rest of it had the tacked on screaming at the end just to appease whoever. I don't know, but this one like fully commits to a different sound, and I think they do it great. Knowing that the band broke up, you might be able to actually see it through those last couple tracks before this one, of like the different decisions that each band member was trying to make.
I will also give this track an 8.5. It did say that they broke up for creative differences and reasons, so I could very well see the singer having wanted to do this and everyone else wanting to do something else, just with how much the screaming is kind of tacked on. But I think this is a phenomenal sound. I love just the heavy guitars with the not so heavy vocals. It's very reminiscent of metal that I prefer to listen to in general. It's just maybe a touch heavier all around. And that is obviously for the better in my brain.
Agreed. Like I said before, it adds a fullness to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can almost flop down on it.
I bet, we won't do it here, but I bet if you go and listen to the bands that all the members ended up in, you could probably reverse engineer who wanted what.
Yeah. Album art?
Album art.
I like it.
I think it's neat.
Give it like a 9.
I was also thinking 9. This seems like an album that like you've known forever.
And I like a touch of Akira being there. I'll also give it a 9. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of using like real photos, and especially this one with the shutter speed being changed to get the lines from the lights is all fun.
I think it's long exposure.
Or exposure.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's the real fun technique. It's cool when people can paint with it and stuff, and I think this has done exactly that.
And honestly, looking at it, my brain sees the visualizer of just this being a video.
Mm-hmm. Like the passage of the cars and stuff.
Yeah, the streaking of the light itself too.
Also, whatever that light is over in like the left corner of the lights there, that's what I see when I look at stoplights with my astigmatism. So this is very reminiscent to me of like early or mid 2000s like hardcore, and I think that's exactly what they were going for. That was the vibe pretty much the whole time. So good job. Thank you guys for watching and listening along with us. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.